This month's muscle up, one arm handstand and vertical jump workout. We're using the rings to do the muscle up, and it's a forward roll. So obviously you want to have a good muscle up first before you really get into it, but there are some beginning exercises you can do with your muscle up at whatever level you're at to kind of cross train for that and keep the journey going towards some more progressive paths on the muscle up. So your basic muscle up, as always, set the rings up so you're in that dip position, squeeze that false grip, come down, keep that false grip when you're below, and then coming back up. I like that as a drill for people to get strong there, and then taking the feet off here, coming under, taking the feet off there. You could even come down to 90, take the feet off there, come down into that full dead hang stretch. You can do the dip part as well. We have the dip on another day, but you can just, because it's not that many reps, just getting that full movement and feeling that. The band, really important to set it up nicely, especially even if you're using the fatter band, but I like to have it flat so the band's not doubled up. It just makes it a bit easier to grip. And then sitting up on that, just have the rings not too high. You can even have it much lower than this, because you're just working on it turning over. You don't even have to kind of have that dip height where you can stretch right down, because you're not going right down anyway. But if you've got a dip, you can just press up, and then from there getting that turnover, from there coming back up. So working on that, just a turnover, you might just do 1 to 5 reps of that, work your way through the bands, and then you can start to straighten your arm out to that 90, and then get that full dead hang, keeping that false grip, get that turnover, get that full lockout. Now for the forward roll, you need to be working on that false grip, but you might just do your muscle up with the feet on the ground, say for example, and then on the last one, just fold forward, try and hold that false grip, and then coming over, it'll slide out, tuck, and it'll pull up there. And that's kind of beginning that journey as you're going over, and then unravel, and then come around to do your next set. And that way you're getting the feeling of going forward in it, like that kind of front somersault, that back lever position. And then you're also doing that, you're just developing the feeling of holding the false grip as you go over. When you first start out, you let the arms straighten out as you go over, but then what you want to do is try and hold the arms bent so you come straight back up into that muscle up. It is pretty tough on it. Probably use some chalk, but I'll give it a whirl. So you're here, coming over, hold that false grip, and pull back up. There I let my arms straighten a little bit. Ideally I keep it really bent, and that way you just kind of rotate on that axis and it's quite tight, but you're just keeping that nice tight grip, feeling that turnover. But yeah, I just work on it at the beginning just so you're not fearful of going over. Just have the toes down, hold that false grip, come down, and then try and keep that false grip and pull. Let it slide out, tuck, get that pull up. And that's a good drill for getting over the fear of kind of falling over the rings. As you feel stronger in it, you'll stay high, your arms won't straighten out as you go down. So nice fun variation. This month's one arm handstand drill is going to be using the straddle against the wall and just weight shifting left to right. This is probably the best one out of all of them from what I've researched and from the people that I've spoken to. And it's it's still something I'm working on constantly. Some weeks I feel better than others, and your wrists feel a bit better, and stack feels a bit better, and elbow lock is better, but it's always kind of going through that checklist and developing it. So you obviously want to have a nice kick up to the glass. So if you don't have that yet, or to the wall, work on getting your L handstand using a pole or the wall to really feel that shape, and then getting a nice light kick up. And then you work those pull-offs on the glass or on the wall, so that way you're used to controlling it just with the 2 hands down and just getting that nice control so you're not overarching. And once you've got that, you're working on that straight line. When you straddle, the butt will go back a little bit to counterbalance unless you're really flexible and you can come right down and keep that line. You can kind of half straddle so the hips don't move back and so you don't pike. And then you're just weight shifting side to side. You don't need to go too far or flag and side bend the spine. You're just trying to feel that weight shift to the hand, and it's just avoiding that temptation to try and pull the hand off, but really feeling the weight come into that arm and all the weight stack over one arm. And then from there, just with the hands coming up, decompressing that one, as opposed to bending the elbow to pull it off, and then just trying to feel that control with the hand that's still on the ground. So that's a very effective exercise, and regardless of whether you get a one-arm handstand or not, you're still conditioning your handstand to be able to weight shift like that, and it's going in that direction. So just getting nice and close. And if you make versions that you're doing, and I find this for myself, too hard too soon, you kind of, it inhibits your development, because you want to be able to train it regardless of how you feel and just work with something that's going to be beneficial. So for me, I'm working on locking up my elbows, getting my grip a little bit closer together, and getting that nice soft kick up. From there, locking those elbows, looking up through my eyebrows, and then really getting that nice wide shift. Try not to pike too much, and then just shifting over, feeling that weight all go into the elbow. Really try and feel that hand work. Feel that one arm handstand, visualize it, feel the decompression off the other hand, feel that stack, and then come back. So it's quite heavy, but if you're conditioning it and trying to hold on each side with that one, you might take longer to do the full round, do the muscle up, have a 30-second rest because it's quite complex. Do the weight shift and try and build up to, like 15 seconds and then even up to 30 seconds per arm in that, so you're getting that volume. For me though, it's more of a skill thing. If I did it in a workout like this, I'd be more inclined to kind of keep it 15 seconds, keep it harder. And then at the end of the workout, when you're doing hang handstand stands, if you might want to do a more prolonged, longer set at the end of a workout, just to keep everything a bit fresher and just safer. But yeah, it's a great skill. For me, it's just a journey and a path that I want to direct my training and just feel that alignment through my tissues, through the arms, through the shoulders, through my spine, neck, and just kind of keep conditioning my body. And it's such a cool thing in terms of that power to weight ratio, body awareness, control. It's like one arm pull-ups, one arm pull-ups and one arm handstands are kind of such a great achievement, to and it's also a direction for your training. Whether you get there or not isn't as important as enjoying the process of developing yourself and improving yourself and working out how to improve yourself, because sometimes it feels like you're stuck and you can't break through, and I have that. So I just, you try and use your intelligence and study and read and watch videos and try and figure out different ways to improve yourself. So yeah, keep enjoying that journey. So the vertical jump, you're just doing a nice arm circle. So just from a standing position, have the feet around hip width apart. Whole point of any kind of jump is to propel your mass upwards and trying to get that whole chain to work, and an arm swing is also going to work together with that. Really lengthen the body up as high as possible, and then you're circling the arms around while you're in the air. So you want to be nice, short, sharp. You don't want to squat too deep before and be quite aggressive in it. And in this type of stuff, if you start doing higher reps, obviously the fatigue kicks in, and then you're not going to get that maximal effort. So you want to try and keep the reps, not too many, and keep it kind of short and sharp. And then when you're doing the muscle up, you're resting your legs. When you're doing the one arm handstand, you're resting your legs. So you've had that nice kind of rest period between as you come around. So at least like a 2-minute rest period, even if you are doing a 2-minute round, the 3 reps or whatever are only going to take a couple of seconds. So you're getting a decent amount of rest. So here, lengthening up, I like to lengthen that chain and then dip and drive, and then really trying to feel full length of my body as I come up, and really extend the hips. So I find it challenging for like all my somersaults and even cleans and stuff, is to use those glutes enough to really open the front of the hips to get that full hip extension to maximize the power in the cleans or the snatch, and then also to maximize height in the vertical jump and for somersaults and things like that. So this workout, when we do it in the gym, we actually just do muscle up, and this month it'll be snatch. So if you do have a barbell, they're a nice combo to work together. I like putting them together, plus the snatch will help the vertical jump. So this is the reason why we put this for the online program if you don't have the equipment. But then there's still a great program anyway, so even if you do snatches on another day, you know, just doing this. I love the one-arm handstand work and that progressional path, so just put it together in a way that works for you. But it is a nice kind of 8-minute workout if you're working through pretty quick, doing 30-second muscle up, 15 seconds weight shift each side, 3 reps explosive, breathe, rest, go back around at the end, do 4 rounds in 8 minutes. It's a good tight workout, and it's achieving a lot. And as long as you really listen to your body, you've gone through the full, you know, hang handstand split warm up, done your gymnastic strength before, and then this is your main workout, and you're prepped, and it's very safe, and just work within the limits. And you're always trying to just make small progressions. You know, like if you're going to snatch a new weight, as an example, you know, you only put an extra 1.25 kilos each side of the bar. Or, you know, you might just do an extra rep at the same weight, or make it lighter and do 3 reps or something. But you're finding small increments that you can improve upon, as opposed to really trying to make massive changes that are risky. And you know, when you get a little twinge, it just makes the whole process take longer. So look for those small gains and just take note of where you're really at. And you know, some days you just feel better and you achieve a little bit more. And those days when you don't feel as good, it's still great to train under fatigue and to do those things, as long as you're honest with yourself and aware that you were. And then if you can condition yourself and train skill stuff even when you're fatigued, then obviously when you feel better, you're going to go further as well. But it's just always coming back to being honest with yourself in your own workouts, and letting your body develop, and looking at other things that are going on in your life when you're training. So external stresses, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, whether it's, you know, did I not eat well, did I not sleep well, and those things are going to impact you. Some days you just have amazing workouts and you don't have a clue, you slept really bad, didn't eat well, and then other days you do everything perfect and it just doesn't come together. So, and that's just part of training. That's why, you know, you can't have this kind of linear program design where every week you're going to increase the weight by this much and all of that stuff. It just, you know, I've seen it over and over in the 20 years of doing this type of work with athletes and just people in general. And they have these programs where they've been emailed to them or whatever, and it's like, okay, you're going to do this, this, and this on this day at this time. So, yeah, no, you're not. That's not how life works. It's always random and changing. You can try as much as possible, and it's great to do that, but you can't have this kind of expectation that everything is going to be linear. It'll do your head in, and it's not healthy. It's not natural. So, work with your body, listen to it, and get amazing results.